What's up, you guys? Godzilla fan freaks coming at you today with another figure review. Today we are taking a look at the Tamashii Nations S.H. Figuarts Shinkocchou Seihou Kamen Rider Black figure. I hope I pronounced that right finally. Shinkocchou Seihou is the specific line of S.H. Figuarts that this Kamen Rider Black is from. This is from what I've been able to research on my own and everything online. This Shinkocchou Seihou line is basically their most updated line. You know, it's using all 3.0 body parts for like humanoid type figures and everything like that. And granted, I had to dip into a little bit of an aftermarket price for Kamen Rider Black here. Still not disappointed. Still no buyer's regret. These Kamen Rider figures from this Shinkocchou Seihou line are absolutely stunning. Kamen Rider Black here is no exception. Granted, he just came with a lot of different pairs of extra hands, and he actually came with a pair of extra antenna, just in case the antenna he comes with, you know, maybe accidentally are broken, or, you know, if he takes a tumble off of a shelf or something and lands just wrong and snaps one of those antenna, you do have some replacement antenna just in case. So that's actually really nice that they also packaged that with this figure. I wish more companies would do that with all of their figures, you know, whether it's, you know, they just add maybe an extra ball joint here and there, or just, you know, something to that effect of those pieces that could be fragile, have a chance of breaking, whether it's something that's cosmetic that's on the figure, or it's something like a joint or, you know, a hinge or something like that. But yes, Kamen Rider Black here from S.H. Figuarts Shinkocchou Seihou line. This figure is absolutely amazing. Let's just take a quick look at the box. I really love these boxes for this line. You know, you get a really nice, you know, face shot of the figure, of the character. On each spine, you just get really nice matte black with a very nice shiny, you know, lettering saying the name of the character, Masked Rider Black, Kamen Rider Black, because Kamen in Japanese means masked. So, and then you have a very nice, you know, again, S.H. Figuarts logo up top here. On the back, you know, you get all your legal jargon and stuff like that, but you get very nice promotional shots of the figure and dynamic ranges and poses that you can get them in. Again, on the inside, as you open it up, these boxes are just really, really nicely packaged at the end of the day. I mean, they definitely care about this line. Tamashii Nations definitely cares about this line. You know, you get your little pamphlet that, you know, has some instructions in it on how to swap out hands and other parts and pieces. And then, of course, you know, the inner layings of the box. Again, you get actually a really nice thick box for the casing. You know, you get this little plastic, you know, casing and everything like that the figure comes in, and then behind that is where the accessories are also laid in with a plastic casing. So again, just, you know, very awesome, you know, boxing, casing for the figure overall. Like, you can definitely tell that they put some extra heart and soul into this department of their S.H. Figuarts. You know, again, it raises those questions. Why can't all of Tamashii Nations quality be this awesome? Because you can definitely you can tell that the quality is here for these figures, because they have awesome paint, awesome detail. The articulation is outstanding. And it's like, you can't get any better than those three with Tamashii Nations. That is what they are all about. And all of their products, not just their Kamen Rider stuff in the Shinkocchou Seihou line, should be this good. Their monster art stuff should be this good. Their other figure art stuff, you know, Dragon Ball Z and whatnot, should all be good. But, you know, sadly, their quality control is all over the place. But it just, again, it just raises that question. If they can make something like this good for the price range of, I'm not sure how much Black was when he came out. I paid a little over $100 for mine. which in reality isn't bad considering this figure's over a little over 4 years old. So that's actually not bad of an aftermarket, because some of these Shinkocchou Seihou figures in the aftermarket have outrageous prices. So, you know, thankfully I was able to come across black here, and he had a little bit of an upcharge, but wasn't bad. But at the end of the day, when they originally came out, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark and say this guy was maybe 75 to 80 bucks when he came out, because again, he's a pretty standard Kamen Rider. He came just with a lot of extra pairs of hands and then an extra pair of replacement antenna if you need them. So I'm just taking a ballpark of when this guy probably came out, he was probably 75 to 80 bucks. You know, and that's just going off of the recent Shinkocchou Seihou Kamen Rider Ryuki figure that I reviewed. He was about $90 MSRP, you know, standard. He kind of just came out and everything like that. So that's why I'm gauging it from there. You got, I'm just going to say probably that 75 range to 90 bucks for what you get here. Absolutely awesome. Again, Tamashii Nations, why can't your quality just be like this across the board with all your departments? It just doesn't make sense. Let me go ahead and just get this stopped for the time being, and let's take a closer look at this figure, guys. Kamen Rider Black here, absolutely amazing. Let's just dive right in with paint. Paint on this figure, absolutely amazing. I mean, just the different mattes of black, and then you got some shinier blacks on in there to add like some gloss colors and everything like that. You got some browns, you got silvers, you got some greens, you got some reds, you got yellows. All great though paint details. I mean, just look at these line work, you guys. Look at the line work on how small these figures are. Again, the quality. Look at the quality. I mean, on both sides, as those inner yellow and red lines come up to the collarbone right there, the way that they're so even on where they stop on both sides. No bit of slop whatsoever. I mean, look even on the helmet. All that line work. These figures are just clean. You know, even the little red dabs on the antennas. You even get a little bit of dry brushing into the silver of the mouth and everything like that, just to give it that little like blackish, smoky-ish look. Really, really nice red translucent eyes. You got the symbol painted on his chest here, very nicely done. Again, all the intricate pieces of his driver belt and all those small little dabs of coloring, they're clean. You got another red translucent piece in there, but again, just all the line work for this guy. I mean, Kamen Rider Black at the end of the day is not a very intricate Kamen Rider design. It's very simplistic. It's very basic. It doesn't have a lot going on with it. But again, just those fine details of all the line work with the paint. It's just like, man, the quality is there. It just looks great. It's so clean. Again, all the inner workings painted like that nice, you know, tannish brown color for his like cybernetic parts. Detail wise, you know, you even get some nice like, you know, texture in the suit itself that stands out really, really nicely. Again, you get all the detail in the underworkings of his cybernetic body. Something that when I was looking up reviews on this figure, a lot of people weren't sure about, but as you can see, they encased his shoulders in like a rubber silicone part, just so you don't have that separation with like a ball joint and something in there. That is actually really cool, and again, reminds me of like a Hot Toys, how Hot Toys does a lot of their joints and workings for their figures, just so you don't have all the kibble from the joint itself. And a lot of people in their reviews, were worried about that possibly breaking or cracking over time. And granted, when you take this figure in particular is about 4 years old. I got it brand new, probably just first seen the light of day when I took mine out of my box. I don't know if he's been out of that box prior to that. But I mean, just for sitting in the box and everything like that, of course, it's not going to be moved around very much, but even just moving it right out of the box, I mean, as long as you're not like crazy violent with your figures and articulating, I don't think you necessarily have to worry about this like cracking or splitting or anything like that. I know that that's what a lot of reviewers said that they were worried about, but just feeling it in general, there's not a lot of tension on that, even when you extend it. You know what I mean? Like, there's not a lot of tension there to where it's actually whatever material they did use, it works. And again, as long as you're not crazy rough with your figures, of course that's going to extend the life of that. I'm not saying it won't entirely, crack or split possibly after 10, 15 years. But again, depending on how much you move your figures, keeping your figures clean, that is also, why it is important to clean your collection. Don't let dust accumulate, because guys, dust can destroy anything. I mean, if you leave dust on your electronics, it can eat away at your electronics. I mean, dust can just deteriorate everything. Granted, it's a very slow process, but dust is no good. Keep your figures as clean as you need to, as clean as you need to, and it will extend their life. It will extend, how good they look, and their inner workings and workings like this, and etc. I guarantee you, if I was just to let this guy sit on a shelf for nothing but like 10, 15 years, the dust that would accumulate on him, and then yes, it would probably eat away at this rubber silicone. But that's why it's important, guys, clean your figures. If I have a PSA announcement today for collectors, keep your collections neat, keep them clean. But yes, just really, really awesome details. Again, just the eyes, the antenna, all the details in the helmet, all that just line work and etched in detail into the mouth, the sides of the head. Again, all the detail on his driver belt and the rest of the suit. Again, very simple Kamen Rider design, nothing too crazy, but man, it works. His symbol is etched into the sculpt. It's just not painted and plastered on there. It's literally etched into the sculpt to where you have like a little lip. So again, absolutely fantastic. Articulation, where these figures also shine. Again, these are just Tamashii Nations. These are so good. Paint, detail, and articulation is such a solid with this Shinkocchou Seihou line for these Kamen Riders. But I mean, you can get all kinds of movements out of the head tilts, up, down, left, right, really good head movement, really good ab and, ab crunch and, waist movement. You can turn left and right really, really nicely there. You can get some really good tilts out of it. Again, shoulders, you can rotate forward, you can rotate backward, you can even rotate all the way around if you want. You're not going to twist that inner working of rubber in there because of how it's attached into the shoulder in there. However they did that, it's absolutely amazing. Elbows, nicely double jointed. He does have a bicep swivel as well on both arms. Wrists are on like a hinge ball joint, but you can also get just rotate and hinge and tilt however you want with the wrists really, really nicely. Legs can kick forward very nice, can kick backward very, very nice. Can't do a full split, but you actually do get a very nice wide range of motion there. No pull down legs. You know, he has that 3.0 body of inner working joint, which is just really nice. It just works really good for these humanoid figures. Very beautiful double jointed knees. Again, you do have a thigh cut in there as well. You do have a little bit of a cut here at the knee, as you can see, but you can't rotate it nothing crazy, but you can get some extra, you know, pivot out of it to help with like leg articulation and poses. Ankles, absolutely great. You can tilt the ankles all the way down very nicely. You can tilt them up pretty much flat nicely. Again, you have really good ankle pivots. I mean, just absolutely great ankle pivots, rotation, and then you have the little hinge at the toe. So really, really good range of movement with this guy. Articulation, paint, and detail is just all top notch. I mean, I got no complaints. It's absolutely fantastic. Absolutely fantastic of a figure. And getting him to stand, again, just look at that. I just did all that messing with his joints and everything, and I just set him down, adjust him slightly, and then boom, he stands up. You know, it's always good when you can have a super articulated figure that you don't have to mess with for like 5 minutes to get him to stand. Boom, he stands just fine. Again, this Shinkocchou Seihou line, guys, is something else. I know I've been ragging on Tamashii Nations a lot, but this is something that is worth the money if you're a Kamen Rider fan. This Shinkocchou Seihou line. Man, why can't all their products be like this? It would justify the inflated, overpriced Monster Art stuff so much if their Monster Art stuff was anything close to this. Accessories, I'm just going to kind of give you guys the plastic tray that they're all in. Again, you have the replacement antennas, and then you have all different types of hands. You got open hands, you got relaxed hands, you have his instant transmission, you know, hands, which I have one on already. He's got fists, choppings, open relaxed, open aggressive, you know, open kind of karate type, you know, battle ready hands. He comes with everything. You know, any type of hand you can imagine, that's what he came with. And then his the replacement antennas if you ever need them. Hopefully you don't, you know. But it's always good. Again, it's always great when figure companies just add those extra parts just in case something might break. You know, it's just nice, you know, and as a collector you also appreciate that, because there's nothing worse than something breaking on your figure that you knew was going to be a problem, and the company that did the figure knew it was going to be a problem too, and they didn't offer any type of extra pieces or parts. So that is good on Tamashii Nations for that. I know they don't do that with all of their figures, but they should. You know, same thing with like Hot Toys and stuff like that. Those are definitely figure lines that giving us that little bit of replacement part, you know, helps in the long run. But overall, at the end of the day, guys, this S.H. Figuarts Kamen Rider Black from Tamashii Nations Shinkocchou Seihou line is absolutely fantastic. Goes right up there with Ryuki. Again, 10 out of 10 paint, 10 out of 10 detail, 10 out of 10 articulation. You cannot go wrong. Absolutely fantastic. Shadow Moon is up next. He will be the next review. Can't wait to do him. I want to say I was a little bit more excited for Shadow Moon than I was Kamen Rider Black, but both the figures are absolutely amazing. And again, with both of them being brothers, I couldn't get one without getting the other. So again, you know, dipping on both of these figures from this Shinkocchou Seihou line. No regrets. You know, again, even though I paid a little bit of an extra aftermarket price for each figure, it really wasn't that bad at the end of the day. I'm really, really happy. Hope you guys enjoyed this figure review. I don't go on into size and scales with these figures. I mean, these guys are your basic 6-inch, you know, to 6.5-inch humanoid type figure from Tamashii Nations S.H. Figuarts. These guys will fit in with your Ultraman, they'll fit in with your Dragon Ball Z figures, other Kamen Rider figures, etc. So without further ado, you guys, we are Godzilla Fan Freaks, also known as Kamen Rider Fan Freaks. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Don't forget to atomic blast that notification bell, atomic blast that like button. Rider kick that notification bell. Rider kick that like button. Don't forget to like and follow Godzilla Fan Freaks over on Instagram and Facebook as well. That way you see posts that happen there that you won't normally see here on the YouTube channel. And we will see you guys in the next one. Thank you for watching.
I am your worst nightmare.